Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So many people have themselves in an uproar and a tizzy about this cracker. Well, the reason why I think a lot of Americans have themselves upset by Cracker Barrel is because it's an easy distraction. Americans can get upset about Cracker Barrel because it doesn't require them to do shit but sit on their ass. But when your government doesn't do things that work for you, that change your life, that make your life better, that make your country safer, you don't do a damn thing because that's too hard. That's hard work. You might actually have to fight back. And who wants to do that when you can have fake ass culture wars? Hey, Lori, good afternoon to you. So when I keep seeing all this arguing about the Cracker Barrel stuff, it's just another fake culture war while we're still waiting on the Epstein files. We still don't have Epstein files. And I think that is more important than getting turned up about Cracker Barrel. Trump had time to talk about Cracker Barrel. Trump has time for everything but making sure that those files get released. And that's what we should continue to be focused on, because as long as the children that were associated with that and a part of that, as long as those children never get their actual, the accountability that needs to happen for the people involved, that's a for whatever reason, it doesn't let me bring it up. So I will make sure that I save that thing for next time. But ultimately, I'm back at the same thing. Has he even mentioned Minnesota? He did. He released something that said he was praying for the community. It's what they all say. They're not going to do anything to change what happened. Nothing will change in society to change what's happened. Trump sent his thoughts and prayers. And keep in mind, he's not religious, so that lets you know he don't give a damn. And most conservative leaders don't care. They don't care because they're getting lobbyist money from the NRA, so they don't give a shit about your kids. Your kids are less safe at school than they are at home. You come off better keeping your kids at home. Hey, Create Waves. Hey, beautiful. You literally come off better keeping your children at home instead of taking them to school. When I was growing up in school, nobody ever showed up with a pew-pew. That was not a thing. This is like a new age thing that's been happening in the last 20 years, but it was not happening when I was growing up. Yep, it equates to nothing, Kevin. I agree. When they say, oh, we praying for you, they don't mean that shit. They don't care. They hide behind their religion to be able to justify the things that are happening. Hey, Val, good afternoon, beautiful. Like, I was thinking about this whole evangelical stuff, right, in America. And I was thinking about the church, and I'm like, when it comes to the church in America, especially when you're talking about old school white church, that shit is based on racism. It's not based on religion at all. They hide behind religion to be racist, but none of it has anything to do with religion, because they're hateful not just to, and I'm saying it started, that was the basis, but then they expanded their hatred to go to the gay community, the disabled community, because these same people, they don't see value in people that aren't what they perceive as perfect. So is he sending that? No, he's not going to send the National Guard to Minnesota. Not going to send the National, because conservatives, they like their violence. They don't want any interruption in their violence in their states from the feds. Because conservatives don't care about children. They're willing to let your children get pew-pewed in school before the president will send any National Guard. But keep in mind, just so, what did I tell y'all about DC? The National Guard here is picking up trash at Union Station, picking up trash on the mall. They're not doing anything of value. They're just walking around. It's all optics for Trump. Nothing of value is going to help any of us. But you do need to know, I'm going to tell you what would have helped us and is not helping us anymore. We used to have a guy who was responsible for all of the Russian teams at the CIA to watch Russia and make sure, you know, they're not, you know, into our systems and our government. He was fired. He was fired. He was fired by the Trump administration. Listen, you're not more safe under Donald Trump's America. You're not more safe under Donald Trump's America. You are less safe than you were before Donald Trump came back in office. You are less safe and more broke. Think about it. Less safe and more broke. Think about it. All because conservatives are in power. And anytime conservatives are in power, you will always have less money and more struggle under conservative leadership. Conservatives mean when they say conserve is to conserve the old school ways. Yep, before we started trying to step into civilization, you know, treating people based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. Right? But mediocre people can't do that. Because when somebody's mediocre, you know, it's kind of hard for them to see things in the right way. Yeah, I agree with you, J Smooth. People were more worried about Cracker Barrel than they were about their own fucking government. That's why I said rich people aren't taking your government away from you. Ultimately, they're not really taking it. Regular working class people are giving it to them because they'd rather fight about shit like Cracker Barrel. And I put a video up today about this. My whole thing with Cracker Barrel is their food isn't even good. So you're going balls to the wall for that shitty ass, bland ass food. Like, are you kidding me? That food is horrible. Horrible. They don't believe in those seasonings over there. Thank you, Kira. That food mid as fuck. Okay, and mid is a compliment. Mid is a compliment because that's actually giving them more credit than they deserve. That food is bland as fuck. Bland. Last time I went to Cracker Barrel, and that was a couple of years ago, the best thing there was they had started up the fireplace and it was cold outside. It was cold outside. And next thing you know, they had the fireplace on and that helped. That was the best thing about our meal that day at Cracker Barrel. Everything else sucked. Nah, fuck them golf pegs at the table. That food is average as hell. Average. Average. And people got themselves all worked up when it's just venture capitalists trying to make Cracker Barrel more palatable to the rest of society. Because newsflash, racist, you're not going to be able to keep Cracker Barrel open with just the money from racists. That won't be possible. That won't be possible. In order for Cracker Barrel to stay open, you actually have to have, you know, other people with money and people with most of their teeth who can taste the food. You're not going to do that if you just cater to MAGAs. It's not going to happen. If you just cater to MAGAs, it won't happen. So that's what the venture capitalists are intending to do. Y'all, they are crashing out at the Cracker Barrel and the Release the Files. I booted at least about 5 or 6 people just now. It was a beautiful thing. I made sure not to mention it. I wanted them to get the screen and sign into their other lowly account. So I want to say thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Thank you so much. I know you had a great day. I'm going to just say you did. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. If you could tap that like button for me, I would appreciate it. It helps to boost my live. Thank you so much, Kim. And if you guys could tap that copy link button, you don't even have to send it to anybody, but copy link counts as a share. And for TikTok, it makes TikTok think that you shared it with somebody, and and that helps me out. Thank you so much. But yeah, people were so upset about Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel did this. Cracker Barrel changed the sign. But you're not mad that Cracker Barrel didn't add any more seasonings to the kitchen. Okay. The best thing at Cracker Barrel is the store, because you can find some old school candies in there. But since I don't really eat candy like that no more, it's no need for me to go to Cracker Barrel. They used to have the king size pack of peanut chews. Listen. So I would go there to get those king size pack of peanut chews. But since I don't eat candy like that anymore, it's no need for me to go there. It's all the same shit. King size checkerboards, rocking chairs, and this food that smells meat in the air. It don't even smell good when you're smelling it. Conservatives, you know why conservatives are mad about a sign, Bex? Because they don't have nothing else. They don't have anything else. Think about it. What else does conservative America have that anybody wants? They always say somebody wants their life, but ask yourself, what facet of a conservative's life do they have that you would want for yourself? Just think about it. Because I know for me, it's nothing. There is nothing a conservative has that's a part of their life that I would want for myself. Hey, Karina, good afternoon, beautiful. Nothing. Nothing. Just so y'all know. And so, yeah, that story is the gateway to diabetes, but that's why we want more conservatives to go there. Hell, that entire restaurant is just one big doctor's appointment. So they can have that shit. I don't care. That's why I wasn't all turned up about Cracker Barrel. Fuck out of here. I wouldn't go to Cracker Barrel anyway. I would go to fucking Waffle House. Like, they gonna cook at Waffle House. Hey, dude, you gonna have some real cooks at Waffle House. People who know how to prepare quick down-home food. Ain't nothing like a Waffle House. So that's why I'm like, Cracker Barrel, who cares? File it under... Honestly, people talking so much shit about everything gave them more publicity, to be honest. Because who the hell is beating down the door to go eat at fucking... Look, I was about to say Applebee's. Applebee's and Cracker Barrel ain't too different. Hey, Ashley, good afternoon, beautiful. They're not too different. So, much like American Eagle, it's more fake outrage. And at the end of it all, Cracker Barrel won't net any real additional rewards from it. Just like American Eagle didn't. Just like American Eagle didn't. Because the people fussing about it either don't have the money to participate in it enough to make a difference, or they can't even leave the house because they trapped in their own body. Like, so that's why I'm like, I don't pay attention to none of that. I don't pay attention to none of that. Now, you said Huddle House was better than Waffle House. I never heard of Huddle House, dude. Where was that located? Now, I'm going to tell you who was real good. That damn Shoney's. Listen, people from the South, if you know, you know. That Shoney's, anytime I would go visit my family members down in North Carolina, I would always be like, man, we got to go to Shoney's for breakfast. So Shoney's was really good. They had a good buffet. At least down south they did. I can't speak anywhere else. But Shoney's had a great breakfast. Great breakfast. So, you said, yep, Shoney's. We went to Shoney's almost. Yeah, I used to love. Listen, I ain't the only one. Bob Evans. I would say Bob Evans is, okay, Bob Evans is better than Cracker Barrel with an asterisk. As long as that Bob Evans is below the Mason-Dixon line. I'm sorry, I live in Maryland. Bob Evans in Maryland don't taste the same way that it tastes down south. Just like Bojangles don't taste the same way it tastes down south. Popeyes don't taste the same way it tastes down south. Like, I'm mad in Maryland we don't have the cookout. Oh, man, if we had the cookout, I'd be there every week. Oh, I'd be there every week. But we don't have that here. You got to wait till you get to North Carolina to get to the cookout. I hate that. You driving down, you start seeing the signs, the cookout, 10 miles from the cookout. Man, we don't have that. And maybe that's a good thing, because my back would be wider than all outside. Yeah, the Cookout. Yeah, Cookout is North Carolina based, but they need to offer franchises all over. Don't nobody want no damn Raising Cane's and shit like that. Listen, I would take the Cookout over a Raising Cane's, an Outback Steakhouse, a Hooters, any of those things. Cookout is in Virginia, but it's in Southern Virginia. I'm closer to Northern Virginia, so it still will be quite a drive for me. I've heard Raising Cane's is trash. I've never tried it, because I'm like, I don't like chicken tenders like that. Like, ew. So for me, I'm always like, I wouldn't eat that shit. So I've never been tempted to go to a Raising Cane's. It's good. I'll pass on it. It's just chicken tenders. Yeah, it's just chicken tenders. Because I went, hold up, somebody opening a chicken tender spot only? That's all they do. No chicken on the bone, no nut. Nah, that's the silliest shit ever. Raising Cane's gonna go out of business too, watch. Because they done built too many Raising Cane's all over the place, and all their food is trash. The food is average as fuck. But people being people love new shit. So people gravitate, when new businesses open, people gravitate to them because they love to be the first. They love to be able to say that they went there first. They did this first. That's a big thing for them. But I haven't smelled any smell come from one of those Raising Cane buildings that made me go, I need to go over there and taste what I'm smelling. Never that. A chicken strip, chill by. If I'm gonna eat chicken strips, and I don't really eat chicken strips often because I prefer chicken on the bone, but if I am gonna eat chicken strips, I would go to Popeyes. That's where I would go. Because quiet as kept, to me, Popeyes has the most flavorful chicken strips. I would not go to Raising Cane's. You're going to get the most chicken at Popeyes. It's going to be seasoned better at Popeyes. And they got better sides at Popeyes. And Popeyes has the original apple pie like McDonald's used to have with that crispy, flaky crust. McDonald's used to have that back in the day before they jumped the shark. Yeah, Church's Chicken is better, but we don't have Church's Chicken here, dude. We don't have Church's Chicken here. So my only two options are Bojangles and Popeyes. And quiet as kept, in Maryland, Popeyes is better than Bojangles. Bojangles down south is better than Popeyes. But up here, Bojangles don't taste the same. Bojangles taste a little different up here than it tastes down south. Like when I visit my family in North Carolina, it tastes different. Hey, from Florida. Yeah, it tastes different. So, Chicago has Harold's Chicken. When I went to Chicago, I didn't eat that. But I can tell you, Chicago has amazing fucking food. People be sleeping on Chicago. Just don't go there in the fucking wintertime. That shit should be illegal. Chicago, the city should be shut down when winter hits. It's inhumane to have people living in a place like that in the summertime. All them states. Minnesota, Michigan, all of that places need to be shut down during winter. Where fall is cold too, we'll shut them down from fall all of winter. They can't open back up until March. No, April. Because I've been to Chicago in March and it was disrespectful in March too. So no, April. Hey, Scott, you should want your military bases not to be named after slave owners. But hey, some of us like our slave owners, huh? Bye, Scott. Scott thought he was cooking with that. You said Bojangles breakfast was good. That chicken, not so much. Yeah, not locally, not Maryland. Now, you go below the Mason-Dixon line, their chicken was pretty good down there. Yeah, we're still slaves today, but you're still a slave because you choose to be, planter. Now I've set you free. Bye, beloved. They had one follower. No, you're not allowed here. Used to be bad in Michigan, but global warming has made it not so bad. Oh, it's heating up in Michigan. Okay. Yeah, just for me, I just, I look at all of it and I go, Popeyes in New Orleans, man, that's what I would love to go. I would go. See, and most people would look at that and go, "You're gonna go all the way to New Orleans and have Popeyes?" Yeah, yeah, because the Popeyes in New Orleans is gonna taste different. Duh, of course, I'm gonna go to fucking Popeyes in New Orleans because it's gonna hit different than a Popeyes anywhere else in the world. You understand? I'm over in like that Brandywine Waldorf area. That's where I'm at. I'm not far from Baltimore, but I'm not close. But Baltimore has great food too. Baltimore has great food. It's just expensive. And well, when I say expensive, it's expensive to park. The experience of Baltimore can be pricey, but the experience of DC can be pricey. That's why I don't go to DC very often. I've had Popeyes in New Orleans, see, and it was amazing. I bet it was. Certain things, it's like Starbucks was started in Boston, right? Or was it Washington State? But like whatever state that original Starbucks was in, Starbucks is always going to hit better in the state in which it originated. You understand? Popeyes, okay, Seattle, Washington. Okay, Popeyes is always going to hit so good down there. So that's why I'm like, I don't even understand why somebody would go down there and not go to Popeyes. You crazy. I would. I'm just keeping it all the way a buck because I would want to know what the different taste is. Like what it really should taste like. I'm going to say it like that. What it should really taste like. Okay. Now I will say in certain hoods in DC and in Maryland, there are like certain Popeyes that are really good because they add some extra little flavor to stuff at those Popeyes. Because they kind of be like, man, we do our own thing. Like we Popeyes, but we kind of do our own thing here a little bit. You said you had Popeyes all over Louisiana. It's the best in that state. I can believe it. Ain't this photo something? Listen, I just want people to remember we need to get those files back. So while everybody has all of their attention and focus on it. You know, when I went to Jamaica, I didn't eat KFC. But Jamaica, I did have Burger King. Now, their Burger King was good, but the Burger King pretty much tasted like our Burger King, but I remember it tasting slightly better. I do remember that. I remember feeling like it tasted slightly better, but that was a long time ago. Because the last time I went to Jamaica, I did not eat any fast food. Oh, you want a beignet from New Orleans? I would too, because you know they taste so good. It's New Orleans. You know what I mean? So that's why I said in certain places, things are going to taste a lot better, and I'm willing to give it a shot. KFC is overrated and feels like, y'all need to find that guy's video. I saw it online the other day, who's a descendant of Colonel Sanders, who put up the original recipe they got from family. Because he's kind of in a issue with KFC right now. Honestly, I like KFC, but only certain things. I don't really care for their original. Their crispy fried chicken is good, and no matter what nobody say, those honey barbecue wings, they be slapping. You can say whatever you want to say. Those honey barbecue wings slap. I will give them that. I will give KFC that. They don't have much. That and those chicken pot pies. Those chicken pot pies are pretty good too, if you can catch them. My son said Popeyes in New Orleans slap. Yeah, I want to try Popeyes in New Orleans. Yeah, Popeyes has great wings. When I go to Popeyes, I like to have spicy chicken over the mild. The mild is good, but ain't nothing like their spicy blend. I don't really care about their mac and cheese because mac and cheese, I don't really care about that. I still like their red beans and rice. I miss that they don't have corn anymore. I think that Popeyes messed up by taking corn off the menu. Just my humble opinion. When they took corn off the menu, they changed everything. It was like, yo, you need to leave corn on the menu. Now, their saving grace is that they got that bomb-ass apple pie. Now, they do have a saving grace on that. Yeah, that chicken sandwich is good, but let me tell y'all a way to amp that chicken sandwich up a notch. Next time you buy that chicken sandwich, put a slice of like provolone cheese on it or something, and then a slice of ham. Oh my God. You about to take that sandwich to the next level. Don't say I didn't warn you, but that's going to be a fucking great sandwich. I can believe that Popeyes in New York is trash, but I've been to New York many times, but one of the places I used to like to go eat at is BBQ's. I don't even know if BBQ's is still open because it's been a long time since I've been there to New York or to BBQ's. So, never heard of Pioneer Chicken. Never heard of them. I wouldn't give them a dime of my business. Now, talking about Cracker Barrel? Yeah, if you talking about Cracker Barrel, yeah, their food tastes trash. Again, I don't understand why people got themselves so worked up about Cracker Barrel, because at the end of it all, the food is not even good food. It's not even good food. So getting yourself all worked up about Cracker Barrel is a waste of time. It is a waste of time. Now, I told y'all the other day something about Mississippi, but I'm going to mention it again. Mississippi has declared that it has declared a state of emergency because they're hitting their highest infant mortality rate in the country. And this is America. This is America. That's the part that's so weird to me. This is America. Now they're saying a way to combat this is they need to have better resources for access to prenatal and postpartum care and stronger community support and more resources for moms and babies. But you know why you know why they don't have that there? That is socialism. Right? That's socialism. And conservatives don't like socialism. So they would rather let babies unalive than create a socialist society to support these mothers. See, America just wants to force you to have a baby, but they don't like children. They like fetuses. They like fetuses. The governor could be a socialist, but the people, by and large, the majority of the people that live in that state are not socialists, unfortunately, because the policies and the way their government is set up in that state reflect that they don't. That's all I'm saying. Mississippi is in the state that it's in because at the end of the day, there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of racism. And those are facts. And these communities are only going to become more and poorer and more disenfranchised because now, with the exodus of immigrants, a lot of companies are going to go out of business because those companies are built on immigrant labor. And this is a fact. They're built on immigrant labor, like hospitality, built on immigrant labor. Landscaping services, built on immigrant labor. Hell, fast food, not built on immigrant labor. Meat processing plants, immigrant labor. Because ain't too many Americans signing up to work them jobs. You got some, but those aren't your exceptional folk. Think about it. Because if they had other options, they would exercise other options. I've had family members that have worked in meat processing plants. And you know what they did? Went and got the education necessary so they can get their ass out that plant. Because there ain't no future working in a damn meat processing plant. That's what my family members did. So I know anybody still working in a place like that is because they ain't got no choice. They ain't got a choice. That's why it happens. And one of the reasons why those places use immigrant labor, they can pay cheaper to immigrants who are undocumented, right? Pay cheaper and treat them any kind of way. See, American employees are going to make you work harder for it. They may not show up to work. Then when they show up, they may not work. And the companies pay government so they don't get penalized for hiring workers that don't have their paperwork. Yep, that's exactly what they do. Kickbacks to government. I'm telling y'all, listen, all of this stuff is interconnected. I just wonder what our future is going to be. Like, in a couple of years, what will this country look like? We're already in a bad way economically. We're in a bad way. Families are squeezed to their limit. American families, we ain't got it. We ain't got it. I see some people traveling here or there, but by and large, most people aren't doing any traveling. So I'm going, what's going to happen when people just don't have money for basic necessities? Because, see, people are cutting back on their splurges. But what happens when folks start cutting back on basic necessities? Buying less groceries. Calling into work at least a couple times a month to save on gas. You understand where I'm coming from? What happens to America when it's at that point? And some people are already at that point. Yep, Kirby, that is the best thing to do. Keep your money and stock your pantry. I told you guys you got to get a Depression era style pantry. You got to. So no matter what happens in these stores, whether they have stock or not, guess what? You're going to be all right and have what you need. That's what's important. I'm telling you, don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it's too late, because you're going to regret waiting until it's too late. Be proactive instead of reactive. Okay? Proactive instead of reactive. Because when you're proactive instead of reactive, what my grandmama say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Cheap hamburger was $7.49 a pound. Oh no, I know that stayed there. I know that stayed there. EBS, yeah, that's not my artwork. I happened to see it online and was like, oh, that's perfection. That's perfection. But hamburger meat for $7.49 a pound, gonna sit its ass right there in that freezer that refrigerated section in the store. I'm not buying that. No. The problem is they want you now. When you think about it, you guys, $7.49 a pound for ground beef is like what you would pay for grass-fed beef. You know what I'm saying? A cow that was treated and it was raised in pristine conditions, hormone-free, chemical-free. You paying $7.49 a pound for cows that were put in deplorable fucking conditions, pumped full of all types of shit, and they want us to pay $7.49. I wish I would. I'm not paying organic prices for non-organic shit. I'm not doing that. That beef can sit right there. Yep, it can sit right there. I'm good. I'm not buying that. There comes a point that we have to put our foot down with our wallet and go, enough's enough. Like I was reading earlier about how electricity bills have gone up in some places at least 50% or more. Or more. That is insane. And electricity is a necessity. It's not like if you elect not to use electricity anymore, you can switch to gas and turn your lights on with gas. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But what is America going to do when your electricity bill costs more than your mortgage? Oh, you have solar, but when it fails, yeah. And I don't have solar because I never jumped on that train. Because I was like, yo, Solar panels seem like a hustle to me. You know what I mean? Solar panels seem like a hustle to me. So because it felt like a hustle to me, I wouldn't do it. I was like, I don't know. I just feel like this is a hustle too. They claim, oh, we can get energy from the sun and this, that. And I'm not saying we can't. I know that it works. I know the science of how they work. But I'm talking about the way the companies monetize everything down to the last penny. No. You're not about to get me on that. It's always something with these people. These people, they just love money. And always looking to make as much money as they possibly can. Not but wind, right. According to Paul, according to Trump, wind turbines are unaliving whales. You might do solar in 10, 15 years. Honestly, I just can't afford solar. It's not something that I can afford. It's not something I can afford. And Perfect Strangers, I see what you said, that they want to take us back to the 1850s. You know what? But let me tell you who I know who doesn't want that, but they claim they do. Conservative women. What did I tell y'all before? I said the conservative women, they always push this stuff, but they could give up their bank accounts now, their credit cards now. They could quit their jobs and let their men make all decisions for them. But none of them do that. None of them do it. None of them do it. All of them still go to work, still got their own personal accounts, still got their credit cards. Still out here wearing skirts above their knees. All the while claiming they're traditional women. Okay, all right. You said before solar, my water and power $2,000 to $3,000 every 2 months. Now, oh, that's a good price. I just can't afford the solar panels, to be honest with you. That's the only reason why I haven't done it. Because I don't want another bill. Because then you got to work to pay off them fucking panels. I'm like, yo, nope. If I can't pay cash for it, I didn't want it. And I didn't have it. I can understand, Faith. It was more cost effective for you to do it right then. Because, listen, the bills were crushing you. They were crushing you. I understand where you're coming from. I understand. But it's just not something I can afford. What kind of future are they creating for their children embracing regression? They think that their children will be able to excel in it. You got to remember, you're talking about people who don't have much education themselves, or the education they do have is not very good. So if their education isn't very good, chances are they still live in the same general area that they grew up in, which means their children are going to the same schools they went to. Ain't no difference. Ain't no difference. And if the school tries to teach a child anything new that the parent don't know, the parent come running up to the school talking about, what's this new age stuff you trying to teach kids? They don't need this. Yet Chinese children are solving math problems mentally in their head in matters of seconds. Seconds. While American kids are trying to figure out where a comma goes in a sentence. Yes, Sharon, I saw that earlier about that. And matter of fact, I saved something. Hold on, where's that thing that I saved about the pew that happened in Minnesota? Because I saved something about that. Did they catch the person? Because I honestly didn't check to see if I hadn't followed up on it. I'm looking to see. Oh, they were unalived. Okay, he unalived. They always do. They always do. I don't understand why those people never start with themselves. Then they can avoid doing things to other people, you know? Say in China, parents are obligated to be involved in their child's education. That makes sense, though. If you decided to bring a life into the world, that you need to be responsible for it. That's real shit. You need to make sure that child gets a good education, a comprehensive education, and are taught life skills so they can take care of themselves. In America, America's a weird country in which it has a lot of money, and even if somebody's parent has a lot of money, they will still let their child suffer. It's like they think you get extra points for putting your child in a position where they're suffering. It's really weird behavior to me. But I've noticed that they've always kind of had this mindset of, I got to make people suffer as much as possible. It says Chinese pregnant women have to read to their unborn baby. Makes sense? Your baby's listening in utero. It is. It is. You can hear things. Education is so important. See, the key to changing your life is education. Yes, I did see that, Miss Dakota, that Trump is allowing 600,000 Chinese students to come into America. Again, I'm back at, this is the question I have. Didn't Trump say China was bad? So if China is so bad, why is he allowing all of these students in? You know why? Because these companies need workers. That's taking money out of the mouths of American workers. But these companies need workers. These are H-1B visa folk. Now that's a different type of immigrant. That's a high-skilled immigrant. That's the immigrant that'll take your fucking job. Okay? That's the immigrant that will take your fucking job. Okay? And not because they're cheaper than you. Because hell, some of them, they'll pay more money than they pay you. Okay? He said the schools would go under. Yeah, that's the excuse they always give. Why would the schools go under if they don't let the Chinese in? Where are all those white children? Where are all those white parents at that said their children were being robbed of an education? Why aren't their children taking those seats? Are you telling me that their children lack the education and abilities to get into those institutions? You don't say. Oh, I know they pay full tuition. Ain't nobody interested in letting somebody broke come into their school. See, y'all about to learn. That's the only thing I can say to all the people who said, hey, this is going to help because these people are taking our jobs and they're doing this and they're doing that. You're still going to lose because rich people want talented workers. And if that means that talented worker happens to be an immigrant, well, if I was a business owner, it wouldn't matter to me. I'm being honest. I'm going to look at my bottom line. What matters for my bottom line? And if an American isn't a good fit for my bottom line, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to hire an immigrant. But I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure that my business flourishes. See, everybody talk that America first shit, but your first loyalty is to your family. Your first loyalty is to your family. Your first. If you're bringing children into this world, you have a responsibility to raise them and take care of them and provide for them. That's what your responsibility is. That's your first priority. Not your love of country. Like the fuck? The only people who think like that are people who aren't responsible and don't raise their kids. They bought into the nationalism versus everything else. Now, I want to tell y'all about something that I just saw. So, a couple of things. I saw a report, that they're talking about that, and we already knew this, that Donald Trump's name was in the Jeffrey Epstein files, and his name was redacted. His name was redacted. They removed his name along with other prominent figures as well. They used 1,000 FBI agents that they instructed those agents to flag any mention of Trump during the review of nearly 100,000 pages. They did this in March. Y'all remember when that story came out, right? And then the Justice Department announced that the review revealed no client lists or evidence linking Trump to criminal activity, despite his name appearing in Epstein's address book and travel logs. Okay? Now keep in mind, don't forget Pam Bondi claimed she had the list on her desk. Then magically she didn't. Don't forget about that. Don't forget Dan Bongino said he was going to release the files when he got in office. Kash Patel said he was going to release the files when he got in office. None of them did any of that. None of them did any of that. They lied. But my thing is this. So they redacted his name and other prominent people. What did I tell y'all? The rich and powerful people are going to make sure that you don't have that information. Because they're not doing the things that they're doing. I told y'all, that stuff didn't stop with Jeffrey Epstein going away. They somewhat fearful, but user 458, they never stopped. That's the real tea. They never stopped. Okay? Okay? That snake has many heads, honey. And one head getting chopped off is not enough to get rid of the snake. That snake has tentacles, baby. Okay? Hell, let's just say it's an octopus. All right? You cut off one arm, they got plenty more. And that's what's happened. That's why that's why the system is going to work really hard to keep you from knowing the truth. I tell you, I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't. One of the reasons why I don't believe in coincidences is because I used to watch the Lifetime Network a lot. And what Lifetime taught me and what the show Snap taught me is there is no such thing as a coincidence. Nope. There is no such thing. So that's why I'm like, I just find it interesting that we still don't know. Now, I know we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to talk about it again. Iowa. How Democrats have flipped some seats in Iowa. And I believe that's a sign. That's an indication of something that's to come. I really believe that's an indication of something to come. Meaning, even Republicans are looking going, I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see. Look, they was rocking with it. They rocked with it for a long time. So I don't give them no extra points. They rocked with the racism, the ignorance, the sexism, the misogyny, the anti-Semitism, the xenophobia. They rocked with all of that shit, right? They rocked with all of it. It's just now it's coming into the spaces that they occupy. So now all of a sudden it's a huge problem. That's why I believe two Democrats will be able to flip those seats in Iowa. But if that is an indication of what is to come, that's not good for Republicans. Much like all the time, Republicans have gone too far. Yep. They went too far. They went too far. People are losing their farms. They voted for it. They voted for it. They voted for it. So because they voted for it, I don't see, it's not a problem to me. I'm glad that they're losing their farms. They said that didn't conservatives say they were willing to sacrifice? Because Trump said it was going to be tough. Trump said that. You got to be willing to sacrifice for a while. And conservatives said they were willing to do that. Anything to keep Kamala Harris out of the White House is what they said. Well, they got their wish. Tired of winning yet? This shit is the best, man. Because I know I would get tired of winning. At this point, I would be tired. I would get tired of being sick and tired, you know? Tired of being lied to, tired of being played with. But I love that supermajority in Iowa has now been broken. So now this is the real question that I have now. Will Republicans feel so crowded in that they do things that are not legal to still push their agenda through, or will they try to compromise? I don't think they'll do compromise. This is just me giving my opinion, but I don't think that they will do compromise. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. And they've proven they can't be trusted. So I'm going, I just don't think this is going to end well for Republicans, ultimately. For Republicans. Because they've gone too far. When you go this far, that's a problem. That is a problem. When you go too far. The fact that we're even here is the craziest thing to me. Like, okay, I want to tell y'all about something too. So the mayor of Minneapolis, right? You have some conservatives mad with the mayor of Minneapolis now. They're mad with him because the mayor of Minneapolis said that he said you can keep your thoughts and prayers because they mean nothing. Conservatives say that's just disgraceful. How dare him tell us to keep our thoughts and prayers? So you just want to keep praying about it, but you don't want to do nothing to change it. Didn't God say faith without works is dead? Faith without works is dead. God has given you the tools to change your circumstance, and instead, conservatives, Christians, have chosen not to do anything. God gave them the tools. Yet they said, we're not doing that. We're just going to pray that nothing happens instead. That is not how that works. So you're going to pray for God's protection and ignore the protection that he gave you. Okay, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. But again, these people are mad at the wrong thing because they're always looking for something to be outraged about. Always looking for something to be outraged about. Americans have gotten, it's so normal to deal with school pew-pews. It's so normal. Hey, Kimberly, this shit ain't normal, y'all. It's not normal. It's not okay. Our country is unsafe. Your children are unsafe in school. Your children are taught how to shelter themselves from somebody walking the halls with a pew-pew. But your baby don't know how to properly use a comma. So are they training your baby to become the next scholar or the next soldier on the front lines? Like, what are they training your baby to do? Because your babies aren't trained. Your babies aren't being taught to flourish when they get older. Your children are literally taught the same skills that Palestinian children are taught. Think about it. Or Israeli children. Both of them, both sets. The children, how to shelter, how to listen and pay attention to what's going on around you and protect yourself at all costs. Get out of unsafe situations. That's what your kids learn now. They literally do in-school pew-pew drills more than they do a fire drill. Because they have to make sure that the children understand how to get out of those situations because they happen so frequently. Oh, these children have so much trauma. Kirby, they have so much trauma. And they have all this trauma, and guess what? The kids have all this trauma, and the adults laugh at them and call them crisis actors. You understand where I'm coming from? Adults laugh at them and call them crisis actors. They're not pretending. I would be traumatized too if I saw my classmate get unalived in front of me, or I could hear it. That's going to fuck with you. But they act like these children are soldiers. I told you, that's why I said, what are they really equipping these babies to do? Be soldiers on a battlefield or scholars? But it doesn't look like they're equipping them to be scholars. No problem, dude. I'll see you tomorrow, beautiful. I'm about to wrap up myself anyway. I've got to run back out. But y'all understand where I'm coming from? Your schools, they're either training them to be soldiers, scholars, or prisoners. And quiet is kept. The rich people want them to be prisoners because they can make money off of them. Powerful people want them to be soldiers because they can move them around like toys and use them to make money and intimidate others. You understand? I don't know what happened to America, man. What they say, we used to have things that we could seemingly say we're proud of, but of what? While we're sitting over here twiddling our thumbs trying to figure out life, China just built a Grand Canyon bridge in China. And they've been doing this 5-day testing, load testing, that they're doing in China to ensure before they open up this bridge that it can handle the activity and the weight of all of the traffic. That's what they essentially built a bridge that wide and long. The Grand Canyon. But we sitting over here like, I'm really upset by Cracker Barrel changing their sign. Y'all see? We lost the plot, man. And while we're losing the plot, countries around us are building up and advancing. I'm not sure I want to sit here and continue to be left behind. You know? I'm not sure about that. Y'all keep your eyes on stuff. I'm keeping my eyes on stuff too. I also wanted, listen, I thank y'all for joining me here today. We had a great, look, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to cheer. Had a great time. We did 45,000 likes this afternoon. I want to remind you, don't forget to check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. New episode drops tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those of you in the Patreon, you already had access since yesterday. But for everybody else, listen, check out that new episode tonight. I'm to episode 30. Why people are leaving America and what it means for the future. Because people are leaving. Yep, the U.S. hoards money for the wealthy. Yep, the U.S. is a tax shelter for the rich and the famous and the wealthy. So don't trade on me. You mean to tell me Trump is making sure that the Obamas and all of them, they get to keep doing what they're doing? Chill by. Chill by. Thank you, Maud. Belegedy block. I thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Don't forget to click the link in my bio. Come on over to Patreon and have some fun with us. I know that you will enjoy yourself. The new episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast will be available in Patreon, Spotify, TikTok, not TikTok, I mean YouTube. So check it out. I thank you all so much for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your engagement, your likes, your shares. We got over 80 shares this time. I meant to go here. 80 shares this time. I appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you. You all know, I have to tell you, and I'm not telling you to gas you up. I'm telling you because, yes, I appreciate you, and I thank you for your support. Because I wouldn't be here if y'all wasn't here. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, MGD. And I will be back on here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, to continue our, discussions. I'll continue to dig tonight. Just don't forget tonight to check out that Straight No Chaser podcast episode so that you can, listen to it and let me know what you think about it. Give me your feedback. I love to have feedback. I love to hear folks' opinion on my commentary on what I think is happening. So I would appreciate you stopping by and giving me some feedback on it, because that would be extremely helpful to me, because it lets me know what my audience likes to hear and what you want to hear more of. The CDC director ousted. I'm not surprised. I'll tell you guys this before I wrap up. When I go out, I'm back to wearing my masks and stuff. I wear my stuff. So I can't speak for nobody else, but I wear mine. I'm not willing to take any chances. I got my flu stuff recently. I'm not playing no games. What I'm not going to do is allow rich people play with me and my family's life, because ultimately it's just rich people playing with our lives. And when it all comes down to it, rich and powerful people will be the first people in line to get whatever protection when shit goes down. They'll leave us all to fend for ourselves. You understand? What did I tell y'all before? When COVID happened the first time, the only reason why they came up with a vaccine was because rich people were getting infected too. Rich people were being impacted too. And they were unaliving faster than they liked. They couldn't make money. You couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't do nothing, and they couldn't put you to work. They had to pay you to sit at home, and rich people didn't like that shit. They didn't like that shit. At first it was fun, but then it stopped being fun. They didn't like having to pay you to sit at home. So they decided to change it. That's why I go, listen, something has to change. I'm telling y'all, we're all going to be, I call it in this life soup. And it's not a soup you want to be in. Stay focused, stay contacting your elected officials, stay on their asses. As long as you pay those people and they represent your district that you live in, you got a right for your voice to be heard. Don't let up. Don't let up. I love you guys. I appreciate your support tonight. Don't forget to check out the new episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast going out to the general public tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Link is in my bio where you can access it. I appreciate that. Before I wrap up, I'm going to do a shout out to my top 5 gifters, because I do this every live. I can't do it for everybody because it would be longer than a live, but no, I appreciate you. You said you work in research. Yeah, I got to find me some N95s because I don't have none. I'm going to go online and buy some before it's too late. But understand, with this tariff war with China, we don't make that shit here. Guess who won't have the protection that they need? America. 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 That's what I'm trying to get you to see. We won't have what we need because Paw throwing tantrums. So all of us lose out because Trump likes to throw tantrums when he don't get his way. Because that's essentially what's happening to us. That's why I'm like, something got to give. And until Americans wake up, and Americans need to be as upset as they were about Cracker Barrel, they need to be more upset about what's happening to their government. What are you leaving your children, man? What are you leaving your kids? If you died tomorrow, would you feel comfortable with your children being left in America? Do you think that they would be safe? Do you think that they could have a future life of some value in this system without you? Hell, even if you were there, do you really think that they could have any value living in this country? That's the stuff that y'all need to be thinking about, man. Sincerely. Those other masks last for 2 hours? Okay. Yeah, I gotta try to find me some somewhere because I don't have no N95s. I just buy the big vat of masks from the Costco. And sometimes I double and triple up with those. Because I'm like, I'm not getting no cooties from these people. Thank you so much, One Dope Nation. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you did. And if you liked the video, click the link in the bio and check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. New episode tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I thank you all so much for joining me today. I will be back on tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Oh no, you're not the only one wearing masks. I have multiple sclerosis. So I am mindful. Because for me, a cold can make me extremely sick. So even when people have colds, I'm a little funny acting. So already, when I know you got other cooties, fuck yeah, I'm going to be majorly funny fucking acting. Especially when it can, unalive me, But yeah. But I will see you guys in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, I'm going to end this live the way I end all lives. Don't let nobody live rent-free in your head. Don't feed the trolls, and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as y'all stay consistent. Peace, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye.